One of the best ways to stand out as a data analyst who uses Power BI is to pass the Microsoft PL-300 exam. And this is known as the Power BI Data Analyst Certification. I've been using Power BI for years. I took this exam and earned the credential a few years ago, and I even made a video about it back in 2024 that a lot of you found helpful. So Microsoft updated the skills measured on this exam on April 20th of 2026. And there are objectives on this test today that did not exist when I first made the video. So if you're studying off a course, a guide, or a video from before that point, you're preparing for a version of the exam that is not the one you're going to be taking.
Damn!
So today we're going to cover three things. First, what the PL-300 exam is actually like in 2026 and what changed. Second, what the exam is really like, because I've taken the exam and there are things about the format that you don't often hear about. And third, exactly how I would prepare for it if I was going to start over today. So first, let's talk about what this certification actually is and where it fits. The PL-300 is Microsoft's Power BI Data Analyst exam. You pass it and you earn the Microsoft Certified Power BI Data Analyst Associate credential. And one additional update from my last video on the certification landscape. So the old DP-500 is retired. So the two Microsoft certifications that matter for analytics people right now are the PL-300, which is what we're covering today, and the DP-600, which is the Fabric Analytics Engineer certification and sits a level above this one. And this is one that I may cover in a future video. We'll see. I need to take it first before I cover it. There's also the PL-900, which is a beginner level Power Platform certification. I don't need it. They kind of offer it up as sort of like a prerequisite, but I took the PL-300 without it and passed just fine. So this exam breaks into 4 areas. Prepare the data is 25 to 30%. Model the data is another 25 to 30%. Visualize and analyze the data is 25 to 30%. And manage and secure Power BI is 15 to 20%. What's interesting is those weightings have not changed at all since my last video a couple years ago. Same 4 buckets, same percentages. What has changed is the content sitting inside those categories. This is exactly why people get caught off guard, because at a glance, the exam looks almost identical. So what's actually new? So let's get into that, because after all, that is the reason we're making this video today. Number one, and this is the big one, Copilot is now explicitly tested, and it shows up in 4 separate objectives that I know of. Creating a narrative visual with Copilot, using Copilot to create a new report page, using Copilot to suggest content for a report page, and using Copilot to summarize the underlying semantic model. Honestly, sounds pretty simple. So if you've never touched Copilot inside Power BI, go do that before you take this exam. Basically, Microsoft is now testing whether you can work with the AI features in the tool, not just build everything by hand. I will say Copilot in Power BI is pretty underwhelming. It's better to just use like a GitHub Copilot with Power BI instead, or Claude with Power BI instead, which if you're interested in that, check out this video right here. The second thing is that DirectLake was added. So the stores mode question used to be direct query versus import. It's now direct query, import, and DirectLake. DirectLake is a Fabric concept, so Fabric has officially made its way onto this exam, so you should know what it is and when to pick it. Number 3, visual calculations and calculation groups are both on the list. So visual calculations let you write DAX directly on top of a visual. Calculation groups let you apply a set of calculations across multiple measures instead of writing the same logic over and over again. Neither one of these was in the old objectives. And number 4, DAX query view got added to the performance section. The objective is to find poorly performing measures, relationships, visuals using Performance Analyzer and DAX query view. So Performance Analyzer by itself isn't quite enough anymore. Everything else in that update was minor wording changes. Those 4 are the ones that actually carry some weight in this exam. Now, I want to be clear about something. Underneath all of this, it is still a Power Query in DAX exam at heart. Microsoft says that directly in the audience profile. Every one of these new objectives sits on top of that foundation, which brings up the real problem here, and that's that you need hands-on Power BI practice that maps to the current objectives, not just a playlist that you stitched together yourself. And that's where DataCamp comes in. I've partnered with them for this video because their data analyst and Power BI track is different from just grabbing any old Power BI course that you've seen. It's co-created with Microsoft. It's built specifically for the PL-300 and was updated in May of 2026, which is why it tracks the actual objectives instead of just guessing at them or using the old material. It's 17 courses, it's about 50 hours long, and there are no prerequisites. It takes you from zero through Power Query, data modeling, DAX, report design, and even deploying and maintaining assets in the service. And the thing I always point out with DataCamp is that Power BI runs right in your browser. I love that. No install, no license. I mean, that's the trickiest part when people are trying to learn Power BI on their own. You don't need a Windows machine. If you're on a Mac, that honestly solves a real problem by itself. But there's another reason why I'm recommending it specifically for this exam. The exam costs $165 and there's no free retake, which is a bummer. So you want to walk in ready the first time you take it. When you finish the track, DataCamp gives you a 50% discount code on the actual Microsoft exam. That's $165 down to about $82. So the track literally pays for half your exam fee and gets you ready to pass it once. I've been using DataCamp for a long time, ever since I started my technical career, and I've taken this exam. If I were prepping today, this is where I'd start. Start for free using the link in the description below. And by the time you finish it, boom, you've already cut the cost of the exam in half. All right, now let's talk about the exam itself. Like I mentioned, it costs $165 US and you need a 700 out of 1,000 to pass. That 165 does not include a retake. So if you fail, you pay full price again. Because of this, I think it's worth preparing properly the first time. You take the exam through Pearson VUE, either at a testing center or online from home. I took mine live in a testing center. I just preferred that environment, the online environment. It's kind of strict and they'll tell you things like, oh, if you have a person walk behind your screen, like you instantly fail. So I just went in person and it honestly was a smooth experience. So with that said, just know that if you go the online route, they'll do a room scan. Your desk has to be clear. You can't leave the frame. You can't have anyone in the room with you. So make sure you have that on lock beforehand. Microsoft also doesn't publish the question count or the time limit anymore. So when I took it, it was 100 minutes and right around 50 questions. And that's still about what people report it is. So plan for that, but don't get caught off guard if yours looks a little bit different. I wouldn't expect it to be crazy different from that. Question types. So you'll get a mix, standard multiple choice, multiple select, where more than one answer is right. I hate those the most. Drag and drop ordering, hot area questions where you click a specific spot on an image of the Power BI interface, and case studies. The case studies are the ones to watch out for. You'll read a business scenario, sometimes a long one with multiple tabs of requirements, and then answer a series of questions off of it. Those eat up a lot of time. So if you're crushing through the standard questions and then hit a case study with like 20 minutes left in the exam, that's a problem. So keep an eye on the clock early. And now here's the feature of the exam that surprises a lot of people, and it surprised me as well when I took it, and it's still in place. On role-based exams like this one, you get a Microsoft Learn button right on the question screen. You click it and Microsoft Learn opens in a split screen next to your question. You can browse basically all of the Microsoft Learn website. You can't get into Q&A, practice assessments, or your own profile, but everything else is fair game. And I will say I got stumped on a few questions when I took this, and going into the Learn articles actually was a little bit helpful. But here's the part to watch out for, and this is most important because the timer doesn't stop when you go onto Microsoft Learn. Every second you spend reading documentation comes off your exam. So treat it as a safety net, but not a study method. Use it on a few questions that you can't really reason through on your own. Everything else, flag it and come back at the end. It's really helpful to have Microsoft Learn there, but it's a bit of a trap because having that safety net can make you doubt yourself too much, and then you start wasting time reading through the documentation just trying to find the actual answer instead of just trusting your gut and what you prepared. Finally, let's talk about how I prepare for the exam. So I'm going to give you a 4-week frame, which I think is plenty of time to get ready for this exam. Weeks 1 and 2 are hands-on learning, and this is where the DataCamp track I mentioned earlier does the heavy lifting because it's already sequenced to the current objectives, so you're not guessing what to study. Then weeks 3 and 4 are all free. In week 3, you'll find your gaps with Microsoft's practice assessment. Week 4, you'll drill the new 2026 objectives and core DAX and the exam sandbox. So for weeks 1 and 2, whatever you're learning from, the rule is the same. Don't just read it. Have Power BI Desktop open on the other screen and rebuild every concept as you go. Reading about a star schema and building one are two different skills, and this exam tests the second one. Same with with DAX. You can read about DAX functions all you want, but that's different than actually writing it. The practical application piece is important. And this is the single biggest reason people fail a certification that they technically studied for. Week 3, find your gap. So Microsoft has a free practice assessment right on the PL-300 page. I recommend taking it, but use it correctly. Any question you guessed right, treat as one you got wrong. If you couldn't explain why the answer was correct, you don't know it. Then take each of those and go rebuild the exact thing in Power BI. DAX question, write the measure. Relationship question, build the model. Practice questions are a diagnostic tool more than anything, not just a study tool. And this is where most people burn their prep time. They grind hundreds of questions, memorize the answers, then get a differently worded version on the exam day and they lock up. And stay away from brain dump sites as well. Microsoft rotates the question bank and half that content is wrong. And using them is kind of risky because you can get your certification revoked. I don't think it's worth it. And honestly, you just end up studying a lot of stuff that's not on the exam anyways. I didn't waste my time with those. Week 4 is to drill. So 2 things for this week. Go to Microsoft's Exam Sandbox. It lets you experience the real testing environment and how each question type behaves. So this way, the interface isn't brand new to you on test day. Then specifically hit the new objectives. Build a calculation group, write a visual calculation, open Copilot in Power BI, generate a narrative visual and a report page. Be able to explain DirectLake versus direct query versus import. This is the stuff that's on the exam and that a 2024 study guide won't prepare you for. And be honest with yourself about DAX. Calculate, filter context, time intelligence. Those are the difference between passing this and paying more money to take the exam again. If those are shaky, that's where you'll want to spend a little bit of extra time. When I took the exam, a lot of DAX stuff came up, more than the Microsoft Learn exam led on. And there you go. That's what the PL-300 is in 2026, what the exam is actually like and how I would prepare for it. One last thing to know, the certification expires after a year, but renewal is free. It's a much shorter assessment. There's no proctor, again, no payment. So once you pass the exam, Microsoft will send you a reminder when that renewal period is coming up. So look out for that. But you might want to set a calendar reminder as well. And really the only reason anyone would lose the credential is because they didn't take the retake assessment. Thanks again to DataCamp for sponsoring the video. Link to the track I mentioned is in the description, and good luck on the exam and thank you for watching.